Hello everyone, it's Stephanie, your CSA coach, and this is week 22B of our CSA shares for the 2023 season. We have 2 more weeks after this week, and early bird registration begins on Saturday for next season. So make sure you take a look at the email that we received yesterday, get all of those details, and get your information in line and ready for Saturday for early bird registration. There's discounts and there's also prize or gifts that you can get if you register early. Okay, jumping right into this week's share. We have a lot of repeat items from last week and then a couple of new items. So we'll jump right in. We have cabbage. Cabbage gets stored in the fridge just like this. It will last a while. Cabbage is great raw, it's great, you can turn it into sauerkraut, you can grill it, you can throw it into stir fries, you can throw it on salads, you can roast it, so lots of different ways to use it. You can eat it just as a side by itself, or you can add it and combine it with other vegetables. Also great for like a coleslaw, so that's cabbage and stored in the fridge. We have either broccoli or kohlrabi. Broccoli is stored in the fridge in a bag, a plastic bag, either a Debbie Meyer green bag or a Ziploc bag. Best when you're ready to use it to soak it in a little bit of salt water to get any dirt or any bugs that are living in the broccoli florets out. Soak it for a little while, kind of shake it up, and then pull it out. You can either eat it raw, you can do a quick steam, you can throw it in the oven and roast it. Also amazing for stir fries. And there's a great stir fry PDF on the hub. So if you are not using those PDF files that we've created, they are amazing. They're kind of just like a guide, a recipe formula where you can kind of pick and choose what you use. And we have a lot of vegetables that are really good in stir fry this week. So you could use that. I got the broccoli. But you may receive kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is also stored in the fridge. Kind of referred to as a cabbage apple, has a little bit of a milder flavor than I think a head of cabbage, but it's really yummy raw. You just simply peel it, slice it up. There's recipes on the blog I know there's one for like a kohlrabi apple dish. You can do kohlrabi fritters. You can definitely eat it raw, either sliced or shredded. There's a kohlrabi carpaccio on the blog, or you can roast it. You can throw it into our stir fries. You can grill it. So lots of ways to use kohlrabi. We have our salad mix. Salad mix is stored just like this in the fridge. When you're ready to use it, rinse it off. Throw it in your salad spinner, get all of the water off, and then dress it and serve it. Can be used as a base for a big protein dinner, or can just be simply a side. I've talked about this before, but the way you dress your greens can change up the flavor of your salad. So think about changing up the dressing you use. Either keep it simple and just do a simple oil and vinegar, or oil and a little lemon juice. Or get more involved, and I know there's a caramelized onion dressing on the blog. There's a bunch of other recipes on the blog, but we have onions this week, so that would work. You could do a roasted garlic dressing, but lots of ways that you can change up what you're doing with your salad greens just simply by changing the way you dress it. We have broccoli raab. So broccoli raab is stored in the fridge, either in a Debbie Meyer green bag or a Ziploc bag. It's a large head, so I tend to put it in a Debbie Meyer green bag, plus it tends to last longer when we do that. This is typically served cooked. I like to do a quick saute of it, so I chop it up, throw some onions and some garlic in my pan with a little bit of oil, cook those down a little bit, throw this in, toss it, and just cook it down and then serve it as a side. You can do that with pretty much any green. Broccoli raab is a little bit bitter, so I like to do the onions and the garlic with it, especially the sweet onions pair really well. but great as a side, full of nutrition. We have carrots, and the carrots have the greens on the top. So very first thing you're gonna do is chop off the bottoms, throw them in one bag, get those in the fridge, chop off the top, put those in another bag, and get that in the fridge. The carrot tops can be used. You can simply chop them up and add them to your salads. You can dry them. There's a great carrot top chimichurri on the blog. That's amazing. So you can make that. Bottoms, great raw. They're such a wonderful flavor from the farm. You do not need to peel these. So I just scrub them, get the dirt off of them, and serve them as is. Like, I don't peel the carrots from the farm. Once you clean them up, you can eat them raw. So either in a dip or just as a side or in your salads. Or you can cook them. So they're wonderful roasted. They're really good grilled, great in stir fries. So that's our carrots. We have sweet potatoes. Our sweet potatoes get stored in a cool, dry place. Once you're ready to use them, scrub them. They're really good baked. You can chop them up and roast them. You can boil them. You can then, once they're boiled and roasted or whatever, you can mash them up. You can puree them and use them in different baked goods. I just like to bake them whole, just like this. You can do sweet potato fries. I like to do my fries all in the air fryer so they're healthier and not full of oil, or baked on a baking sheet. So those are all options for our sweet potatoes. We have sweet onions. Sweet onions are stored in a cool, dry place away from our potatoes. These are really good sliced super thin on top of salads or on top of our burgers or sandwiches. You can also use them cooked. So there's a recipe for whole roasted onions, which is really yummy as a side. That just came out, I think, last week or the week before. You can do an onion soup if you've been saving onions from previous weeks. You can do a big batch of onion soup. You can add them to our stir fries. You can do grill packets. So lots of ways to use our onions, but they will store well. We also have garlic. Garlic is also stored in a cool, dry place, and anyone who knows me knows that I love garlic. I add it to just about every recipe. We use it raw in our dressings and our marinades. We also cook it in just about everything. So you can use a clove or two, or you can roast the entire head of garlic. That's completely up to you. But garlic, cool, dry place. Okay, 3 more items. We have butterkin squash. Butterkin squash is stored in a cool, dry place. All of our winter squashes, cool, dry place, and they will last. These are really good roasted. So we can roast them and just serve them as a side, which is what we tend to do. Or if I accumulate them and I don't use them a lot, then I chop them up and roast them and puree them and make like a soup, which is really good for this season. And you can freeze it. So once roasted and pureed, you can freeze any of our squash recipes, or any of our squash. Recipes in general for any winter squash besides spaghetti squash are interchangeable. So we have butterkin, we get butternut, we had honey nut, I can't even remember the other ones. They can all interchange. They'll be slightly different flavors, but if a recipe calls for honey nut squash, you can use this squash instead. And I know there are a bunch of recipes on the blog, so check that out. We have turnips. Turnips are just like our carrots. We want to chop off the bottoms, throw them in one bag, and then chop off the tops and throw them in another bag. Tops are sauteed just like greens, or you can make a salad out of them. So a simple sauteed green. The bottoms, really good thinly sliced on top of salads, or I love to roast them, or to like caramelize them. Really good. They can be added to stir fry as well. And last but not least, we have celeriac. I think I said it wrong again. I've been practicing how to say that, and I think I messed it up. Anyway, This is a root vegetable stored in the fridge. It is celery flavor. So basically you're gonna soak it, scrub it down, peel it, and then chop it up and use it in soups, in stews. You can do a saute, but it's a celery flavor. So super easy to use and just great for soup season because this is a great addition to all of our soups. That is it for this week's unboxing. Remember that our registration, early bird registration, starts on Saturday. So pay attention to the emails and the posts throughout the week, and make sure if you have any problems or questions or recipes that you're using, post them on our Facebook group. And I will see you all on next Tuesday.